Joy, if you can hear me. I think on most people's minds is the level of service that is offered by the county, and many people expressing themselves on all our platforms on Twitter and Facebook, trying to basically get a bit of information on how to make this better.
Thanks a lot, Peter. And a lot has been happening in Nairobi City County, both the good and the not so good. In fact, today, Dr. Evans Kidero as well did announce that some 6 officers had been sacked to 6 Director of Inspectorate Department of Filth and Disorder in Nairobi City County. So we are going to be speaking to some of the county executives on what they are doing to ensure that Nairobi County is well managed, and also how they are dealing with the challenges in the county today. And joining us this afternoon, to start with, we have Dr. Robert Ayisi, who is the County Secretary and Head of Public Service. Thank you so much for joining us. And we also have Engineer Peter Kimori, who is the County Executive in charge of Environment, Water and Energy. Thank you both for joining us. The governor, Dr. Evans Kidero, has actually come out strong and said anyone who deals with corrupt dealings, anyone who is, ensuring that we have, or anyone who is actually instigating ghost workers, and also making sure that, Nairobi City County is facing the bad flag, are going to be dealt with. But from where you sit, Dr. Ayisi, how exactly are you dealing with this in your department?
Thank you very much, Doreen, and thank you for the opportunity you have the Nairobi City County government to talk to Nairobians. As you have correctly said, I'm the County Secretary and Head of County Public Service. Mine is to be in charge of the county accounting and county public service, whereby you're talking about, Dr. Evans is talking about interdiction of county workers.
Yeah.
We have a code of conduct. As a worker, there's a particular manner you're supposed to behave. And it came clear that we found out that order was not being preserved. There are a lot of hawkers in town, matatu menace, street children, dumping. And then we found that there are people who are responsible for these activities, who are supposed to make sure that order is restored and things are done the right way. And we have addressed this issue in very many meetings, but when we found that not much was being done, we went ahead and cracked a whip. We interdicted 6 top-level officers of the Inspector Department of the county.
Yes.
So that we may see why do we indicate them? They are the ones supposed to oversee others when they are performing these duties. So he said.
All right, but what exactly is driving this sort of behavior amongst the county workers?
Well, for somebody not to perform his duty, one, it is negligence. 2, there is also the area of probably corruption being set in. So for us, as a county government, we have an MOU with the ESCC, and we have anti-corruption committee set up. So we want to make our motto is to stamp out corruption, and actually we say zero tolerance to corruption.
Right.
So we said that if things are happening the way they're happening, despite us saying that normality should be restored, there's something must be going the wrong way. That's why we cracked the whip.
Okay, let me bring in now Engineer Peter Kimori. You are in charge of environment as well as water and energy, but there have been so many complaints about dumping, about poor garbage collection, and also the fact that we are seeing water cartels on the increase in Nairobi. What is your department doing about that?
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to explain ourselves. On the area of illegal dumping, it's correct, we have had problems in that direction, but we formed a special committee unit to crack down on illegal dumping, and I think for the last 2 weeks we have had quite a number of arrests, and this illegal dumping has gone down. Illegal dumping is basically dumping solid waste and excavated materials in the wrong place.
Right.
We have only one designated dumping place in Nairobi, which is at Dandora. So anybody who dumps outside there is actually doing an illegal dumping, and we are addressing that. Nairobi generates about 2,400 tons of waste per day, and we are able to collect about 70% of that, which we take to Dandora. On the issue of water, Yeah, we are not able to meet the demand because Nairobi's demand for water is 40,000 meters cubed per day.
Yes.
We are only able to supply about 520,000 meters cubed. So that gap is the one which sometimes lead to a shortage of water.
What about the water cartels that we are seeing in the county today? And actually, some of Nairobi's residents say that some of them are actually even being supported by some of the workers in the county government. How are you addressing that particular issue?
Now, the water cartels are basically coming out of maybe water stolen from our system.
Yeah.
So for now, what we are doing, we are making sure that anybody who diverts water is basically arrested and charged, because our water is cheaper than what the cartels are selling.
Yeah.
For example, in the slum areas, we are selling water at 50 cents per 20 liters. Yet, when you buy water from a cartel, it's almost 5 times as expensive. So one wonders, why should you leave cheap water and buy from the cartel? So, and we believe this is water which has been diverted, and we are addressing that. Like this morning, I was in Zimmerman, where we had issues of people who have diverted our water. So we are addressing that, and in a short time, you will hear that this is something of the past.
And what are the penalties for illegal dumping?
Illegal dumping per truck is about 400,000. If we find you are dumping illegally, it is 400,000.
Right.
This is in the statute.
Okay.
Yes.
And Dr. Aisi, let me come back to you. You are in charge of enforcement. And what we have seen in Nairobi County as well is that we have hawkers on the streets. And time and time again, Nairobi County management has come forward and driven these hawkers off the streets, the hawkers and vendors. But then again, we still have them coming back. So have you thought of ways of maybe borrowing lessons from Kigali, where they are constructing shades for hawkers to set up? And then we're able to, have some sort of consensus when it comes to their trade.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. When we drive the hawkers out of the streets, it's not that we just leave them to nowhere.
Yeah.
We have designated places where we take these people to go and do their trade. But then they still come back to the city center, probably of ready market. But if they went to places we have put for them in other places, they can still go and trade. Like I'll give you an example. Toy Market, it was not there from the beginning.
Yeah.
But we took hawkers from CBD, we did them to Toy. They have made it, it's one of the best markets in Nairobi. And anybody visiting Nairobi from outside has not visited Nairobi and did have visited Toy Market. So it's just because of the hawkers not going to designated places the Nairobi City County has made for them. If they did that, would be having life very, very peaceful for them, and they would be doing their trade without any interference from the government.
All right. Not far from today on KTN News, we did have a feature about the Kanjo Kingdom. I'm sure that is why some of the 6 officers have been interdicted. But going forward, how do you hope to strengthen the law, or at least have your officers, those of them in charge of the city county, being able to do their job without being compromised?
There are several ways we are doing. As a government, we have embarked on culture change.
Yeah.
And in the culture change, we are retraining our inspectorate workers to make sure that the way they handle Mwananchi is in a very humane way. And we are also, they are undergoing training, in-service training, and even in the process of even changing the uniform. We have set up a very new uniform which we are gazetting, and then there will be a model askari. And second, we are going to employ new seat askari. We are doing it in collaboration with the National Police Service, whereby that we're going to get the curriculum. They are going to be trained in the same way the police force is being trained, so that we have a new breed of askaris for askaris. As we retrain the one who are existing on customer services and better management and better delivery of services.
All right. Engineer Peter Kimori, let me now come to you. I'm sure there's quite a lot that has been going on following the complaints about mismanagement of issues in your department, right from water supply to issues like dumping and garbage collection. But have you thought of adopting maybe clean ways, or can I say technology in regard to waste management?
Doreen, thank you very much. I would like to say two things just before I answer your questions to give Nairobi hope. One, we are pleading with them to have some cultural change, especially littering the city. If you have a small litter, drop it in the dustbin. A dustbin is not more than 20 meters from where you're standing. Just check around and drop it. Number two, as a county, we are doing a lot to change the situation. For example, the county has just bought about 31 trucks, which some of them were delivered last week, and we shall be inaugurating them. We have bought machineries for the dump sites. They will be inaugurated next week. So with all that development, you will see quite a big change in Nairobi.
Right.
You did ask about our cultural change and what we are doing to make sure that we move in that direction. That is correct. As the CS said, we have a cultural change in the county whereby every worker must see himself or herself as part of the system. We come here to give a service, not just to come and sit from morning till evening. So I am pleading that in a short while, you will see a lot of changes. Even the way we collect our garbage, we shall be doing some separation at source to make sure that some of those people who consume plastics, they get it at the source. Then if we do that, we'll reduce our garbage into Dandora by about 40%.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we do not have much time because we need to speak to the other county executives as well. But we've been speaking to Dr. Yisi Robert, who is the county secretary and head of public service here at Nairobi City County, and Engineer Peter Kimori, who is the county secretary or county executive in charge of environment, water, and energy. Thank you all for joining us. And well, Nairobi County has done quite a bit, but there are also the challenges that still remain when it comes to issues to do with garbage collection that a number of Nairobi residents have complained about tirelessly. But so Governor Evans Kidero just today made announcements of 6 officers that were interdicted, in fact, were sacked, and they are from the Directorate of Inspectorate Department, the Director of Inspectorate Department over Filth and Disorder in the city. So we are asking you on a Twitter poll question, do you think, or are you satisfied with the services offered by Nairobi City County? Are you satisfied with the services offered by Nairobi City County? Would like to hear from you and hear what you have to say. And speaking of, ensuring there is order in Nairobi City County, we now also would like to share some of the thoughts from the county executives and county secretaries in regard to health, matters to do with health, and also matters to do with trade, is it? ICT and social services. So we are joined by Dr. Mwea, who is the county secretary in charge of health services here in Nairobi County, and we also have the county executive who is in charge of social services and ICT. That is Anne Othoro. Anne Lokidor. I keep interchanging the names, but thank you all so much for joining us. So, a lot is happening as well. We had Engineer Kimori who just talked about illegal dumping, and that has a lot to do with health as well, because when there is illegal dumping, the health of the residents in Nairobi is compromised. But from your department, how do you think you are tackling this health issue?
Yeah, Doreen, thank you so much for this opportunity. We really appreciate being on here this particular point in time, so that we articulate issues, particularly from my hand, of public health interest. Issue of solid waste is an issue of also health, and our public health officers in the county, because the county has public health officers who represent the sector all over. We have instructed them as we talk now to make sure that, particularly the issue of solid waste, starting from CBD, and I can assure Nairobians as we speak now, CBD, whoever is either hawking food or is dumping waste, we are taking action on that.
Right.
This is action which people are going to see it. As we talk now, public health officers, particularly in CBD, when it comes to solid waste and hawking food, is already now, we have instructed them on how to go about it.
Okay, and there's also the issue of maternal health as well. In Nairobi County, we also do see the fact that the population keeps increasing. But are there any reports that are showing, some sort of improvement in regard to maternal health?
Yeah, great. We have made serious strides as far as maternal child health is concerned.
Yeah.
And as we speak now, our maternal mortality ratio, however, is slightly high. We have noticed that is coming down because of the services we are offering in our facilities. And as we speak now, we have 17 health centers or health facilities whereby now we are offering maternal services, particularly things related to pregnancy and deliveries. As you are aware, we have also gone ahead to make sure that those 17 health facilities are offering 24-hour services.
Yeah.
So, and our hospitals who are handling maternal health child, we have already done a lot in terms of, first of all, capacity building to people who provide health equipment. We have ultrasound, we have bought several ultrasound machines. We have also bought machines to screen for cervical cancer. And also issues related to immunization. We have adequate vaccines to humanize children who are under 5 years old.
All right.
So I think we have made quite great strides, and this can be attested by reduction of infant and child mortality rates.
Right.
It's going down.
Okay. Let me now bring in Anne Lokidor, who is in charge of social services and ICT. We have a number of street children in Nairobi County today, and they have also time and again complained of harassment by some of the county management or enforcement officers. But tell me about this. Is it that we all know that they are illegal or are not supposed to be on our streets as street children, but what are you doing to safeguard their livelihoods? Are there any sort of measures that are being put in place to cut the numbers down?
Thank you very much, Doreen, for this opportunity.
Yeah.
I agree with you about the issue of the street children, that it is illegal that they are in the streets in the first place. But we have put in measures as a county government to rid the streets of Nairobi from these children because, number one, you do realize that they are underage. So to speak, they are supposed to be protected by the state.
Yeah.
So what we have done, we have formed a committee with the national government, Ministry of Labor, because that is where social protection is domesticated under. We have formed a committee also that comprises of the National Police, our county inspectorate, our county children services officers to mop out these street children. And so far, in the past 2 years, the exercise has been successful. We take them to our homes because we have the homes that are being run by the county government, where some of them are rehabilitated. Most of them are rehabilitated and reintegrated back to their communities because most of them come from the neighboring counties and they come from families. You should realize one thing, that what attracts these children to the streets in the first place is rebellion. That is the first thing. Because life in the streets is easier. They have access to money. They have access to drugs. Nobody is policing them around. So they love being in the streets, and most of them do have homes. So for the extreme needy cases that we as a county are able to really sieve out and understand who are supposed to be in the streets because of whatever reasons, we reintegrate them back to society after rehabilitation.
All right.
On the issue of harassment, yes. Yes.
And news just getting into our newsrooms indicates that the Judicial Service Commission has today concluded the shortlistings of candidates for the position of the Deputy Chief Justice and Judge of the Supreme Court. And there are some names that have been shortlisted for this specific position. Among them, we have Lady Justice Hannah Okwengu, Lady Justice Abida Ali Aroni, and we also have Lady Justice Agnes Murgor, Lady Justice Wanjiru Karanja, Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu, Lady Justice Fatuma Sishale, and also Lady Justice Lydia Achode, Lady Justice Pauline Nyamwea, and Lady Justice Martha Kome, Lady Justice Rosaline Nambuye, as well as Miss Surinda Kapila, Miss Pamela Mwikali Tutui, as well as Miss Joyce Miguda Majiwa. And those are some of the applicants who have been shortlisted for this specific position. And we are going to be keeping you up to date as and when we receive these updates. Once again, the Judicial Service Commission has concluded the shortlisting of candidates for the position of the Deputy Chief Justice, and we will keep you up to date throughout our consecutive bulletins. We are speaking to county executives here at the Nairobi City County on some of the developments, the challenges that they face, and how they are dealing and tackling these specific challenges. So, Dr. Mwea, let me bring you back in again. From where you sit, what are some of the challenges you experience at the moment? Because we've already talked about the achievements so far, but let's talk about the challenges and how exactly do you hope that they can be tackled?
Thank you so much once again.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest challenge we have is that in Nairobi County, which has 10% of the national population, about 4 million. Out of the 4 million Nairobians, 65% of these people live in informal settlement. And in informal settlement, we have public health challenges. So we realize that particularly when it comes to diseases of public health interest, we normally get it from those areas. Two, one of the other challenge we have is supply of commodities. And we are working on that. The other issue which I have addressed is also the issue of personnel who would come to work maybe late and then leave early. That one also we have addressed, and I'm sure we are equal to those challenges.
All right.
So we are addressing them.
Okay. Anne, let me bring you in as well. There is the issue of eGGPay, and we have seen, you are in charge of ICT as well. We have seen the cancellation of online business permits. Why has this happened? And do we need to go back to the drawing board? What exactly went wrong? What was the challenge with this?
Sorry, I didn't get to your last question. Cancellation of?
Cancellation of online business permits.
Okay. The Nairobi City County is in charge, has the mandate of delivering physical and social infrastructure to the citizens of Nairobi. And we identified ICT as one of the vehicles to drive the transformation of the city.
And ease business.
So eGGPay is our online payment platform that was meant to make it easier for people to pay for their services from wherever they are seated. I would like to disagree with you, Doreen, on the issue of cancellation of payment of online services for the single business permit. What happened, we were cancelling the licenses that had plot 0, because that is the loophole that hawkers in the streets had identified and decided they will be getting their licenses, claiming they have a business premise when they don't have one. Then when our city askaris go and enforce to remove the hawkers from the streets, they rush to court saying we have a valid licenses. So we have not cancelled the issuance of single business permits.
But you are reviewing.
We are reviewing the process, and we have blocked the codes for plot 0,
Okay.
the ones the hawkers were taking advantage of.
All right. Well,
Yes.
thank you so much. Anne Lokidor, who is the county executive in charge of social services and ICT. And we've also been speaking to Dr. Mwea, who is the head of health, right? At the Nairobi City County, talking to us about some of the health facilities as well, and how they are dealing with the challenges. You are watching Business Today here on KTN News, and we hope we can have time to speak to Engineer Mike Ongari, who is the county chief executive in charge of roads as well as transport works, and he's going to be telling us more about this. And also we hope to speak to Francis Munyambo, who is the head of enforcement and security as well, talking to us more about what's happening in the county in regard to security. We have seen a number of security cases, do we say insecurity cases, being reported here at the Nairobi County government, and would like to find out from them how they are dealing with these challenges too. And I suppose now we are joined by Anne Othoro, who is in charge of trade, the county executive in charge of trade, licensing and construction. And we also have Francis Munyambo, who is the head of enforcement and security. Thank you both for joining us. Very quickly, in the interest of time, in regard to markets and opening up business in Nairobi County, how's that going? You are in charge of construction of markets as well in Nairobi County. Tell us about that.
Currently, Nairobi has about 43 markets that are formalized and that we manage. But what we found is that there's a lot more people who are out there who want to work but don't have a place to. So we looked into it and we looked at expanding some of our markets. We are expanding City Park Market. Unfortunately, it was one of the markets that burnt down early last year. And so when we looked to rebuilding it, we decided to make it a lot bigger so that we could put in a lot more traders in there. Westlands Market is one of the markets that has been under construction since 2008. Yeah. We've been working with the national government on that one because when we became a county government, that was one of the markets that was still under construction. We hope that we'll be able to finish that and we'll be able to combine the traders who were in that market along with the traders who were in the Westlands Triangle who were managing the curios into that market. One of the major projects that we're working on is the expansion of Wakulima. We're actually looking at moving Wakulima from where it is right now, Wakulima Market. Yeah. Traditionally, in most international countries and cities, you find that markets, especially wholesale markets, are on the outskirts of the city. Where Wakulima is right now used to be the outskirts of the city. And we find that we cannot move or grow anymore in that space. And it's over-congested.
So you're now looking for new space?
So we've got new space. We have about 47 acres of land up near Kariobangi. The actual name for it is Maulem.
Yes.
Yes. So we're doing about 32 acres under a fresh produce hub. It will become the largest market in Eastern Central Africa. And then we have another 15 acres that we'll have for retail.
All right.
We will be resettling some of the traders that have been affected by the expansion of Outer Ring Road. And so the 15 acres will then become it will actually be the largest market in Eastern Central Market Africa as well.
Eastern Central Africa, exactly. So let me bring in Francis Munyambo, who is the head of enforcement and security. How are you ensuring that Nairobians feel safe in this county of 4 million residents?
Thank you, Dori. My name is Francis Munyambo, the way you've said.
Yes.
And I would like to tell Nairobians that to make sure that Nairobi is safe, we have I've deployed 2,333 officers within Nairobi to make sure that they take care of Nairobians. Yeah. Within the Central Business District alone, what we call the CBD, we have deployed about 600 officers to make sure that they take care of all the streets, they remove all the hawkers from the business premises, those who are hawking and those who are selling their wares outside business premises. they are removed without wasting a lot of time. And
Right.
Dori, believe you me, you walk now into the central business district, you'll find some work has been done. Security officers have moved in and they have removed the hawkers, those who are doing illegal business within that area. They have been removed from the central business district.
Right.
And all the illegal items or wares they were carrying, most of them have been removed and taken to our stores. We have our stores.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, wish we had more time to talk about security and trade in Nairobi City County, but I'm being told we're out of time. But thank you all so much for speaking to us. We've been talking to Anne Othoro, who is the county executive in charge of trade, and also Francis Munyambo, who is the head of enforcement and security at Nairobi City County. Well, we've come to the end of business today. Hopefully we can come back again and speak to all the county executives here at Nairobi City County, sharing with us some of the achievements, the challenges that remain and how exactly they are trying to tackle them. My name is Joy Doreen Bira. Thank you all so much for your feedback on our Twitter handle, that is at KTN News. The conversation continues. Coming up next is Worldview on KTN News.
Some breaking news out of Burundi. The country's former Minister for East African Community Affairs